So there I was enjoying my day when some Oompa Loompa found one of my base spots. This guy must have been licking the ceiling rooftop in hopes of hitting that lucky mushroom we all see Mario and Luigi digesting. Well, good for him. I was originally sitting up here with Tom enjoying the view and talking about ways to fix the planet, because if two guys who play video games can't figure it out, who the hell can? Anyway, normally this would have wiped me out of the Crossark 11, but because I recently decided to move map I got incredibly lucky, so you are still stuck with me, you lovable midgets. Upon arrival we see that he has not murdered Mr. Sokolot yet, which in turn means that I have to get this chunky love bucket out of here safe and sound. I have to say the fact that I left this shiny mix of a stoplight and a disco ball out probably made finding the base incredibly easy. So let's blame Tom for that. When going through the broken vaults you can see how I prioritize my Bill Cosby grenades. This is obviously because I don't want to see Oompa Loompas being caught in the news headlines doing horrific things to the lovely citizens of this ark. See all those blood bags? That right there is the hard work of our favorite living tampon Tom. It was originally being used to hand feed the Bloodstalker babies, but this heartless Oompa Loompa clearly hates feeding the helpless. Truly a monster. So I inject my friend Suicidal Peter here with some steroids and watch as he grows into Terry Crews with wings. I almost forgot to grab some of the med bros from the meth lab we visited a little while back, better keep those handy. So we speed up the process trying to save what we can, but honestly most of the good stuff had already been yoinked by those little Trump-looking hands. Honestly, if you have the time, Google Trump's hands. It's like they just decided to stop growing at some point, and it's a medical wonder. No wonder the guy was so aggressive. Did you guys see the news when he pointed out how proud he was of passing the cognitive test? He then proceeds to sit and brag about it in front of television. Kudos to him. Personally, I would never have the courage to sit in front of the media and tell the world that today I decided to use a spoon with my soup instead of a fork. Good memories, good times, right lads? A fucking cognitive test, Jesus Christ. Anyway, as predicted, the Oompa Loompa has returned to fill his hands with more loot, and he's even got a Charizard. Joke's on him. I've told Terry we can have yogurt if we win this fight, and he's hyped as hell, so here we go. The pick was clean because of our nimble size, but the focus on weight has made our stamina incredibly low. Not being able to see the actual ground the pillar is built on makes it hard to land, so my schizophrenia kicks in and I convince myself it's probably a good idea to just re-engage. Reminding myself that attacking someone who is parachuting is a war crime, I quickly engage with a smile. Now you see, the Oompa Loompa however is a certified champion in my eyes because he knows what I'm trying to do and decides to go for the free fall maneuver instead. I can respect that. However, two people can play that game, and I promptly choose to ride Terry headfirst into the dirt in an attempt to reach the ground first. That's right, gravity bitches. We end up slinging our bolus around, but none of us seem to be getting any good results. Out of nowhere his Doug Jones buddy shows up, and I jump on the opportunity to finally settle the score between me and Doug Jones. God, that feels good. Now I've just come to realize that during my salvage attempt I put away all the shotgun bullets I had on the other Suicidal Peter, and I am officially stuck with no extra ammunition. We do however have 10 Bill Cosby grenades and a erection the size of the Eiffel Tower, so here we fucking go. Thinking to myself that little Oompa Loompa couldn't have gotten very far on those small legs, I get back on Terry and look for my new friend. However, this isn't his first rodeo, and he has placed a sneaky turret somewhere on the ground. Clever little man. Terry gets lit up and I lose the majority of my health. Imagine if I just remembered I had med bros on my hotbar. Yeah, that would have been nice. So not knowing where the turret was, I'm down to only Bill Cosby grenades and bolus. An awkward around the boulder fight begins, and none of us are going to be suspected of aimbotting anytime soon. The damn turret is really keeping me pinned down. After crop dusting each other for longer than I would like to be reminded of, he eventually decides he's had enough and fair enough gets back on the Charizard to finish me off. Like one of those movies where the guy sticks his hand in an unknown hole, there was no getting out of it. He wins and there is nothing else to say but GG. Oompa Loompa turns out to be a chill guy who wants to make friendly, He offers me my stuff, but honestly if I took it back it would ruin the whole experience of being a griefer. The Red Cross can suck it? I did not really have time to stick around and talk with him due to there being a siege currently going on in Crossark 14 that I was supposed to be helping with. The guy was nice and won the fight one-on-one, and I cannot take that away from him. Man had a shield on him, bolus, and even a heavy turret. He ain't no bitch. So like a predator in the sunshine I decided to come back to the center and look for Oompa Loompa's stash. He was bound to have it nearby seeing as he returned so quickly between visits. And just like expected, my main man was living under a rock cosplaying his character in full form, and that is bloody respectable if you ask me. That being said, Oompa here has my shit including some cryopods, and I am not losing custody of my children to some guy that mugged me and that bitch Tom. Useless hobo lifestyle wet towel cosplaying Tom. We crawl up to the hole with dignity because walking to someone's front door and door dashing is disrespectful, kids. It is time for Mr. Sokolot to pay his damn rent money and do what he does best. We start blasting some Walking on Sunshine music and head in, letting Mr. Sokolot taste the entire collection of locked and loaded outdated candy and dildos stacked inside the turret. He gobbles it up like a champion as I investigate the establishment carefully. We do however seem to have run into a bit of a snag while trying to get past his stacked and organized dinosaurs, and this results in us whipping out our friendly handy dandy firecracker. Because stegos don't give a shit. So wobbling a little bit closer for each injection of love and respect that we hand out, we eventually get close enough to hug the vault. That being said, to establish contact with this community it is important to make a good impression, so we carefully turn Mr. Sokolot around so he can propose his ass as payment. It seems like no one was interested in ass, so I offer gas instead. And when I say gas I mean I'm bluntly going to run up and take his gas because that shit's expensive and I'm not exactly a rich man. Well, the soaking part is over and it's time to check out what this Oompa Loompa was doing here. To me it looks like he's holding a few cryopods captive, and it's my duty to make sure that they get re-established into the community. Odds are they will need counseling for whatever evil was done to them in this hole. Would you look at that, Tom? I found all your blood. What he was going to do with all of it remains a mystery, but I will be damned if I let this Oompa Loompa keep my man's blood in a fully functional refrigerator. It stays in a lukewarm sink by the bed, or it does not stay at all. Also, my cryopod dinosaurs are here, plus new friendly faces. That's fine. Happy Hoji will welcome you into the family with open arms. He seems to be rocking a locked vault and what I could assume might be my C4. To be honest, I have C4 lying around in a lot of places, so there is also a chance that he made this himself. Either way, explosives are fun. The man also had my element that was donated to the Save the Panda Fund from the generous and kind tribe known as Unlucky. I have been using the element to power up my now broken tech sleeping pod. Luckily it served its purpose and I'm officially over level 100. Unfortunately I forgot to bring Doug Jones the 17th with me, so I will need to use the newly acquired C4 to open the vault. Everything goes boom as is tradition, but something in my head tells me that I'm doing something wrong. Ah yes, the practicing tradition of getting revenge on the Oompa Loompa through fire and tears. We drag his corpse to the vault right next to the C4 because we are civilized people who don't waste opportunities when given. Bon voyage, you lovable little scallywag. Honestly, that's more or less it for this video. Feel free to look at the looting and enjoy the music, but apart from that I will see you in the next one. If you actually listened or looked this far, please write glue stick in the chat. You lovable lunatics.